I'm Kira Arrillaga. I work as a recovery coach and certified SMART facilitator here at Windmill Wellness Ranch, a treatment center for substance abuse disorders and mental health issues. You know, there are people that drink too much, use too much, and they can quit if they're not addicts, if they're not already addicted, I should say. For those of us who struggle with addiction, recovery programs are important, and statistically we're likely to stay sober a lot longer if we continue working a program. Whether we go to treatment or not, we have to continue working a program after treatment. And the longer we work the treatment, the longer we tend to stay sober. There are other 12-step groups. There's Celebrate Recovery, which is a Christian version of the 12 steps. On the other side of it, there's Smart Recovery, which is not 12-step, and that one we do utilize here at Windmill. And that is based on CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. And it's shown to work about as well as AA. SMART uses several cognitive behavioral therapy tools, rational emotive behavioral therapy tools. The SMART ABC form is borrowed from Albert Ellis, who was known for rational emotive behavioral therapy. And in this form, this is a form used to deal with feelings and urges. My first exposure to SMART Recovery was here at Windmill Wellness Ranch, where my clinical director, Lisa Davidson, who is a SMART facilitator as well as being a master's level LCDC, was teaching us the ABC form. And I have to say, I've used that form in my own life. It is a favorite among my clients. We all enjoy using it. Well, we don't enjoy using it. We all find it very helpful to use the ABC. I found it, I don't want to say life-changing, but it can be life-changing, really. Just that one little form. You know, kind of like admitting you're powerless over alcohol in step one all by itself can be life-changing. One tool in SMART can be life-changing. And it gave me a new way to look at my emotions and where they come from and what I can do about them, instead of letting them fester. A stands for activating event, B stands for the belief about the event, and C is the consequence of that event, which is the feeling or the urge. So if the event was my husband forgot to pick me up from work, my irrational belief could be that he doesn't love me. The feeling would be, I feel unloved, I feel abandoned, I feel alone. So in this form, we dispute that irrational belief and we ask, okay, is it really true that if he picks me up or doesn't pick me up, that means he loves me or doesn't love me? Is it really true that if he forgets one day to pick me up, that means he doesn't love me? And my effective new thinking could be, okay, my husband loves me, he forgot me this one day. He didn't really forget me, he forgot to pick me up. He didn't forget me, he loves me. And in SMART, we also use the cost-benefit analysis where we look at the pros and cons of doing a thing and the pros and cons of not doing that thing. So the first cost-benefit analysis I generally have my clients do is the pros and cons of drinking, the pros and cons of stopping drinking. And it's a cool exercise because you know the pros of drinking and the cons of not drinking are going to be similar, and the cons of drinking and the pros of not drinking are going to be similar. But what we find is that the pros of not drinking, the pros of stopping, are long-term. Whereas the things that we get out of drinking are things like, I escape reality, I feel better, I'm not so angry, I know how to dance. These things are short-term benefits. And it really clarifies on a logical level In SMART, we also have the hierarchy of values, which is where we look at all the things that we value as concepts and things like my career, my finances, my family life, my romantic and personal relationships, my children, my physical health, emotional health. Spirituality is a big one on a lot of people's list. We take the top 8 values and then we put them in what they call a lifestyle balance pie. So the lifestyle balance pie is a big circle and you cut it into 8 slices, and each slice represents one of those 8 values. And then you look at how much time and energy am I putting into the value of my finances or the value of my spirituality. And then you can kind of look at, you look at how much time and energy you're putting into each one and realize which ones are lacking. And it helps us know what we need to work on. We get a lot of clients here who have tried AA and they'll say it hasn't worked for them. Usually when AA hasn't worked for a person, it's because they haven't worked the program to the best of their ability, I find. But some people do have to work harder than others. AA is a lot easier for some people than others. And some of those people will want to dive back into AA and say, okay, I know what I did wrong. I stopped in the middle of the 4th step, or I never finished step 9, or I stopped calling my sponsor. My life got good. I kind of stopped going to meetings. And they want to get back into AA because they know it works. And maybe it worked for them while they were working it. Others felt like they tried really hard in AA and it didn't work for them. Maybe it's the God concept, which turns a lot of people off. And they would like a more logic-based approach. SMART is very logic-based, and it really resonates with people that don't really get AA. And then there are plenty of people that just want to do both. It's cool. You never know where you're going to see a miracle. It's a beautiful thing to hear from a former client that's got a year or that's got 2 years or 3 years of sobriety. And, when they came in, they did not want to be here, or they wanted to be here, but they were terrified, or, they had really gotten into a lot of legal trouble or emotional trouble, personal trouble. And to see them turning their lives around has been an amazing, beautiful thing. People who are committed to a lifetime of abstaining from their drug of choice do better in either program than people who are not sure they want to commit to a lifetime of abstaining. Maybe they think that they can smoke pot occasionally or have the occasional drink. They don't do quite as well. But the numbers for SMART and AA pretty much match. The average success rate in AA is about 75%, and the average success rate in SMART is about 75%. The average success rate if you work both is 85%. So I love it when people have done AA and choose to work SMART while they're here, carry that with them, perhaps continue going to meetings, perhaps just work the tools, and then they leave here and they go back to AA and they get a sponsor. I think that's beautiful. I'd love to get it to 100% when we're seeing what we can do about that here at Windmill. One thing I've found is that people with addiction were generally having trouble before they ever tried their substance of choice. I had a lot of trauma. Alcohol and drugs and other things saved my life, and then they tried to kill me. And I think that's a really common story with addicts in recovery. And here at Windmill, we empower our clients by giving them the power of choice.